Welcome back to my channel. My name's Rebecca, I'm 30 and I live in Newcastle, and you are reporting for Beauty Duty. So today, firstly, I need to apologise. I did not film this look. And honestly, I love it so much that I really regret not filming it. I normally hate doing two looks twice, but honestly, it doesn't even do it justice because I've got like duochromes, multi-chromes on there. So yeah, I might do another version of this because actually it was super quick and it's just lovely and smoky. Yeah, very Rebecca kind of look. So as you can see by the title of my video, I'm going to talk through my foundations. So I did quite recently declutter these. I didn't film the declutter, I'm so sorry. It's mainly because I just was like throwing things out and I was having a full clear out, and I mostly got rid of things that were like really old and stuff like that. So shall we begin? So people always ask me where these earrings are from, so I will link them down below. They're from ASOS. I haven't seen them back in stock in a while, but yeah. So honestly, everything that I've got, I still have for a purpose. Just for a little bit of background, I am 30 years old. I really take good care of my skin. And the main skin concerns I have is I do get acne. My scar, it does scar quite badly, and I can get quite a lot of texture as well. And yeah, that's about it really. Sometimes it can get like quite sensitive and sensitized, and that's normally when I'm battling my acne. I will do a follow-up video to this, maybe talking through my skincare. Also, enough of me blabbing on. So my previous favourites when it came to foundation definitely would have been a full coverage matte, and I can definitely say that I definitely have more of a mixture these days. So I might go from lighter coverage up to full and go from there. Okay, let me preface this by, this is not necessarily a foundation, but I know a lot of people wear it instead of a foundation, and I also do that when I'm doing a more no makeup and just want to be super glowy. So I have the Flawless Filter, Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I wear this in shade 4.5. I have it mixed today with the foundation that I'm wearing. I also love it as a primer. I really love using this as a makeup artist as well. I honestly think it's absolutely perfect. I thought this is not for me, I'm too oily, and actually it's great. I find it doesn't accentuate my texture, feels super lightweight on the skin. It is worth the hype. And I know the big thing that I'll say is I do work for Charlotte Tilbury. I work on a counter, but yeah, I do just really love it. I've had this since April and it's still going, and I use it in so many different ways. And then I do have, because I was curious, the Collection Gorgeous Glow Filter Finish Complexion Boosting Primer and Illumination. So this is meant to be a dupe of this, and I do use this quite often. What I'll say is they do look quite similar on the skin, but this feels heavier, and I think that accentuates my texture a little bit more. I tend to use this when I want a similar effect when I'm just doing content, just to look, you know, kind of nice, because there is a significant price difference between these two. If you're absolutely on a budget, this is really nice, but if you can stretch to this as a treat, by all means do. I don't have like the size comparison of like how much is in this to how much is in this price wise, and I obviously have to be quite careful when I'm talking about duping the brand that I work for, but I would say that this is absolutely worth it. I will repurchase it whether or not I work for the brand, you know, or not. It is wow. And on to next, I have the Huda Beauty Glow Wish Multi-Dew Skin Tint, and I have this in 03 Light. First thing I will say about this is that these run so dark. I am not light skinned. I'm like a light medium, but this colour it works perfectly for me. I'm glad I never bought a medium. Although it's marketed as a skin tint, I find that the coverage on this is actually pretty good. It doesn't wear excellent on me. Like I couldn't wear this for a full day and it look great. You know, this is definitely more of a like going on a night out, and it doesn't matter if I get really glowy. And this is definitely for when my skin is tip top. At the moment, my skin is in pretty good condition. I've just had to like get rid of loads of acne. But yeah, I do really, really love this. It might be time for me to say goodbye. I don't know if this is getting a touch old, but yeah. And then the next thing I have, and I actually have a backup of this because I love it so much. Oh, whoops. I haven't used it for a while, but it is very much kind of my like off-duty glow. And again, this is something that runs really, really deep for some reason. So this is the Clarins BB Skin Fluid Detox with SPF 25, and it says evens skin tone, moisturizers and balances. What I will say is this does wear very, very well on me, despite it being quite a glowy product. It definitely kind of does what it says it's meant to. I love this for kind of days off. So next up, I'll go into my medium coverage. So the next thing I've got from Charlotte Tilbury is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation, and I have this in the shade 5 Neutral. This is a shade too light for me, in my opinion. Yeah. For my preferences, I tend to wear like a 0.5 of a shade or a shade a little bit deeper than my skin tone, than my face, I should say. My face, if I was like to take a wipe and stripe down my face, is significantly paler than the rest of my body. I do love the finish on this, and it looks great when I first apply it. It doesn't wear very well on me, however. I love this if like I want to be glam, but I'm not going to work, and it is really nice. It's not my favourite foundation from the brand. I will get to that a little bit later, but I love using this on customers. I think it's great for more mature skin. I know that some people have said that it isn't. I think that people are using too much of it. This is not a full coverage foundation, although it is buildable. You can very much shear this down to be a lighter coverage if you wanted to. If you have super dry skin, this is fantastic. I think it's great with a bit of with very sheer layer of Flawless Filter underneath as well. Absolutely stunning. Next I have, which these came out at a similar time, but the thing is this colour is too dark for me. I have this in Vanuatu, I need it in Santa Fe, so I'll wear it when I'm fake tanned. This is definitely more of a medium coverage. When I first used it, and I used it on a Get Ready With Me on my channel, I absolutely hated this. I'll be honest, I thought it was vile. But I really, really like it with a sponge over a brush, and also I really like to mix it in with some more of my matte foundations that are a touch pale for me. Okay, next up. So some might say this is a full coverage. It's not, in my opinion, but I absolutely love it. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear, and I wear this in 140 Golden Beige. I love this. This is like a strong medium, just a little bit fuller coverage. If my skin is at its tippity top, this will look full coverage on me. The wear time on this is 10 out of 10. I used to wear this to work when I worked in Swarovski mainly, and I used to have worn it to work in Boots as well. This wears like a high-end foundation. I think that it is, you know, really, really excellent. I know it was really hyped up when it first like came out, and it is well worth every part of the hype. This is probably the third or fourth one that I've bought. This one's a touch old, so I do need to repurchase this. Okay, so I've got as well, and I got this on clearance for £3. I haven't even taken the sticker off. This is the Missguided, is it Meet My Match Demi Matte Foundation. I love this so much. So I just got it on a whim. The colour's a little bit off, but if I wear Flawless Filter and think, oh, I just need a touch more coverage, I will pop this on kind of in the centre of my face where I've got a little bit more scarring if I don't want to cover my face in concealer. It is fantastic. I just love it. It's very lightweight, medium coverage. I love it also all over as well, with a little bit of spot and scar concealing. It is so underrated. The only thing that I don't like, this makes it look like it'll have like a dropper. It's like this, and I really hate that I can't like how to store this. I really cannot stand storing tubes that don't have a flat bottom. So if it's going to be a spin-off and not have a nozzle on anyway, unless... Oh, is the nozzle caught in the cap? Someone tell me. Have I... No, I can't see that there's a nozzle. There is, isn't there? No, there's not. I thought, has there been a nozzle caught in the cap all this time? Anyway, then there's even less excuse for this not to be flat. What the hell, man? But I absolutely love this. Underrated queen. Mwah. Okay, so I think that's all my small, lighter coverages. Onto the fuller coverage, guys. Wow, wow, wow. Right, let me just get rid of some of these on my desk. I'm also going to go through my concealers a bit because after... And you can tell I'm a full coverage girl because this is about to be very much the bulk of this video. So let's start off with the probably oldest or like most used, not most used, I haven't used this in ages, but I just keep it in my collection. So this is the Estee Lauder Double Wear and I have this in 2N1 Desert Beige. What was I thinking with this colour? Why did I ever think that this matched me? Even when it oxidizes, it's giving ashy. It's given pale. No, I tried to wear it like recently and I had to use it almost as a primer. I had to put another foundation on top because I didn't have time to remove it. Trying to remove this is so difficult as well. But she is full coverage. She is long wearing, so I will keep her to mix in with other foundations. I really like actually to mix my dark NARS light reflecting with this. This is bulletproof, but as one ages, it gets into the smile lines and I have a little slight wrinkle getting through there. So no. I think this is great maybe if you like a full coverage matte look and you can get away with not setting your foundation. I absolutely cannot get away with not setting things because this will self-set, not an oily gal like me. But yeah, I get it. I get why she's beloved and all of this, but not my favourite, but she's kept around. It's an OG, you know. Yeah. Next up, again, the colour is so off. Who let me out wearing these colours? They're actually in the same colour. So this is Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue. This is in 2N1. It's the same brand and they're not the same colour by any description. This is so pink and it's neutral, but I love it so much. So full coverage, so dewy. I want to be shiny, dewy loveliness. Love her. If you have dry skin and want to do a full coverage, this is for you. 100% recommend this for a dry, like combo dry. I don't mind looking like I'm sweaty, but particularly for taking photos where I want to look glowy, lovely. But I can do mix flawless filter with something more matte. So I will not repurchase this. And probably might be time to say goodbye to her because she's been open for maybe a couple of years, 18 months, but really nice, really, really nice. Next up is the MUA Makeup Academy Pro Base, and this is in shade 154, and that's what it looks like. Firstly, 0 out of 10 for packaging. Let me show you. What is this? What is this? It's a spatula. No. Give me a pump. I know you can put it on the back of your hand. No. No, I hate that. I don't know what it is because I've got things that have a dough fit on it, but the spatula just sends me. It's so hard to get the product out. I mean, it is a thick foundation. The coverage is great. It's probably one of the most underrated but best full coverage foundations that you can get at the drugstore. I think it's like, is it $5 or something like that? $5? Love it. 10 out of 10. For like finish, definitely more of a satin finish. It's not like a matte or anything like, what is it described as? Long wear matte finish foundation. No, I think it's a touch more satin than matte in my opinion, but nonetheless, it's delightful. Great. I think that's the third one that I've had. So there you go. And then next up, I have Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in Dewy. It's a touch dark for me and a little bit warm, but I love to wear this for like doing content when I'm not going anywhere and I don't want to waste any foundation. Just looks really lovely and fresh on my skin. Again, the coverage is great and it's dewy without being sweaty dewy. Just looks lovely and satin on my skin. Again, what is this behaviour? No! And it stinks. It smells like terps. I don't like it. Don't like the smell. But I'm not that bothered about the smell of things. So, yeah. Okie dokie. On to the next. I have, since I've got the same brand, two of the same and two different colours. I have NARS Soft Matte in Santa Fe, which is a medium 2, and Vanuatu, which is medium 3.5. I have to mix the two together to get the perfect colour. NARS does not have a good colour for me. I've been told what colour to try by someone else, so I will try that. I need like a sample to try, and I'll see how I get on. And when this first came out and I first got it, I thought that this was the best thing I've ever used. And although I do like it, the coverage is great, the wear on this is fantastic, it's just that little bit too heavy for me. So I either mix this now with my, again, with the light reflecting from the same brand, or we'll do how I kind of do with double wear and mix it into dewier things to make sure I've got the longer wear. It is fantastic if you have, if you're, excuse me, if you're super oily, this will wear great. If you've got a drier skin type and don't like to set your foundation, this will be really good. It's just slightly not my preference anymore to have this super what I call Sahara matte foundation. So it's just not for me. I will keep it and it has a place, great for content, maybe for a night out when I know I'm going to be hot and I don't want my makeup to move, but just not a favourite anymore. But I won't get rid of it. These are pretty full and I will use them. Next up, and I have two from this brand, I have two Too Faced. So I have Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation in Natural Beige, and I have Born This Way Matte 24 Hour also in Natural Beige. Both excellent 10 out of 10 coverage. I'd also say that the wear on these are fantastic. It is quite frankly rude that this is discontinued. I'm pretty sure it is. Rude and offensive. Between the two of these, I like this one a touch more. I just like the finish. They are very similar. I think this is meant to replace this, but no. Do I like the peachy smell in my foundation? Not particularly, but it's forgiven because it's fantastic. I do think I potentially need to throw this one out. It's been open for a long time, but great options. Wear time is fantastic and this color match is actually pretty good for me. But I'm really disappointed that this has been discontinued. I know not a lot of other full coverage matte liking foundation wearers are really gutted that this is gone because it's a little bit more of a comfort matte. It's a little bit of that softer satiny matte, but it still has that amazing wear time on it. Okay, next up is probably my most worn foundation of all time. I wear it to work, I wear it on nights out, I wear it all the bloody time. I try not to wear it for doing content too much unless I'm doing something Charlotte Tilbury scented, because I love it and it can be hard to get a hold of my colours. So my perfect match is 5.5 neutral, but I more often wear 6. 5.5 is definitely my kind of winter shade and 6 just gives me a little bit more life, slightly fake tan shade. Wear time on this is 10 out of 10. It does not break me out. She is full coverage. It is marketed as a matte foundation, but I'd definitely say it's more of a natural softer matte than the likes of double wear or soft matte. I won't go on too much about this. You know it's very popular. I've talked about it multiple times on my channel, but it's my most worn for a reason. I think actually the 6 neutral is probably empty, but I have a spare. I can't say much about this and it's a bit newer to my collection, but this is the Luminous Soft Focus Airbrush Foundation. Generally, I really have been enjoying this. Looks great on my skin. The colour is a touch yellow. I'm struggling to pinpoint what a good match for this for me would be. The cup is great, the finish is lovely and natural. I'm not going to say much, I've never worn this out and about, so I can't give a proper review. Because it's newer, obviously, yeah. Okay, next up is my what's it called? KVD Vegan Beauty Good Apple Foundation in medium 39. I have reviewed this in the past. I don't like it when I'm leaving the house. However, this is absolutely beautiful for content. It makes I take absolutely, my skin looks beautiful in photos when I have this on. Yeah, really, really nice. I think that you really need to know how to work with this as well. The original Hype definitely didn't give enough advice, but obviously I can make this work. I don't leave the house in it. It is purely for content purposes. I've even hit pan, but yeah, if you're a content creator like me, I know it's not a full-time job, but I'm trying to get more into it. And have this, give this another try. I've actually been using it with a sponge a little bit, and I think that's what's turned the table for me on this. Yeah, great for the purpose that I use it for. Okay, probably my second most used foundation, and what I have on today mixed with Flawless Filter is my BPerfect Cosmetics Chroma Cover Foundation. Again, coverage 10 out of 10. Wear time is great. I have this in my normal colour N4 and in a faked tanned colour, which is N5. I actually have this in my professional kit because I couldn't get all of the Charlotte Tilbury colours that I wanted. I've got a couple of Charlotte Tilbury, and then the bulk of my kit is this. I find that the coverage on this, as I said, is absolutely fantastic. It wears beautifully on me. I can't say enough good things about it. It doesn't break me out. I've never had any problems. There's no weird smell, nothing. If you're looking for a good, solid foundation, but don't want to like full coverage matte foundation, but don't really like drugstore foundations, but don't really want to buy a high end, this is 100% what I would recommend. 1,000%. And then last but absolutely not least, she is an icon to us all, and that is the Bare Minerals Original Foundation. A lot of people will be like, well, you said this in the, talked about it in your full coverage section. Too right I have, because I do wear this as a full coverage foundation. This is buildable from absolutely sheer up to the fullest of full if you know how to use it. I do have a video of like if you search on my channel of a full face of Bare Minerals, and I show how to use this. I did used to work for the brand, but I'm no longer affiliated with them. But this foundation has stood the test of time in my collection. I'd say it's probably one of the only foundations as well that's absolutely suitable for dry skin up to the oily of oiliest. You can layer cream products over the top of this, cream and liquids as well, because it's almost like a powder to cream. If you understand how to use this, good for you. And absolutely you do need the brush as well. 100% need the brush that goes with this. There is a reason why this is one of the most popular foundations in the world. It gives the most beautiful, natural, glowy finish, and I will never stop using it in my collection. I particularly love it for when I need to look really nice on a day off, but not like fancy. Yeah, honestly, I just love it. I just love this foundation. Actually, I haven't used it in a while and really need to get back to it. Maybe I'll use it this weekend and we'll see. Okay. So over to my concealers. Should I do primers in this video as well? Who knows? Anyway, so let's go to concealers. Again, I recently did a big declutter of these. I even have one of my favourites that I've gone through as well that I don't have didn't have a double of, so I'll just talk about it. I've talked about it on my channel before. It's the Lancome All Over Concealer. It is probably one of my favourite concealers, not probably, definitely one of my absolute favourite concealers of all time. Great for all skin types, coverage is great, absolutely love it. It's because I don't have it in front of me. Enough is said about that. Okay, so let's go. I have Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer in shade 3.5. I also have a 6 somewhere, but I don't know where it is. And I also have it in a 15 Deep. 15 Deep I use for cream contour for work, or cream bronze. I don't really need it because I've got a cream bronzer, but I absolutely love this. This is one of my favourite releases that the brand has done this year. This is, did I say this is the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer, a stunning natural finish. I do not really like a matte concealer under eye at all. At all. Ages me about a million years. It's my under eye is probably the place on me that is like aged the most. Doesn't really bother me, and I have no intentions of doing anything about it. I do skincare and stuff like that, but yeah, I much prefer Radiant Concealer. My concealer collection is not like, by the way. I also have a NARS Soft Matte little pot. I do like this if I need to just do a touch to brighten up a concealer that maybe isn't as dark as I would like it to, isn't as light as I'd like it to be, and just to give that, and if it's something super, super dewy as well. I've just realised. Next up one that I've been trying is the HNB Cosmetics Soft Focus Airbrush Concealer, and I have this in shade SF2N. I do have a video where I try this out for the first time with the foundation, and I will say so far so good with this. I did say in my video this is too peachy, this is too light. I actually really, really like that, especially on more natural days where I'm not doing a full face. I don't want to have a really stark light concealer under eye, so I think that is great for this. It means I can take it right into my redness under eye, chin there, when I'm doing a face of Flawless Filter. I do really like this and think it's worth the hype. The coverage on it is really good, so I can do a little goes a long way. And it says soft focus, so I don't think, in my opinion, this isn't matte. I think it's got a natural finish to it as well, so I really like that. Next up, again, another Radiant. This is discontinued. Again, how dare people do this to me? This is the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer, so I won't go on about it too much, in the shade Fair. This was the Dewy Concealer of Dreams. Yeah, buildable coverage from sheer to... I can't talk about it anymore. It hurts too much. Oh, Bare Minerals. I mean... They have discontinued so much of my favourite makeup and skincare, like actually kills me. They have Samantha Ravndahl'd me with so much makeup. It was even worse because I worked for them at the time when they were discontinuing stuff, and I was like, where's the stuff to replace it? And I don't like some of their new things that I've replaced the old things, so there you go. Okay, next up I've got Estee Lauder Double Wear Radiant Concealer, and I have this in 1N Light Neutral. Yes, I like light concealers, get over it. So this is full coverage and very full coverage, and also very, very dewy. Love her. She is thick, like me, but she's thick, but does a job, especially when I'm doing a very radiant but full coverage face, that this definitely still has a place in my collection. Wow, does it? Let me... So do we really stick to the 1 year? I will do with my kit, but with my... I'll do what I want on my face. Next up, I have the Perfect Chroma Cover Concealer, and this is in shade N2. I don't like it as much as I like the foundation. I do have it in my kit because it was just convenient to buy, and it does the job. I'm just not wowed by it. Great eye base, actually, I will say. It's definitely meant to be matte. There's nothing else on it. I'm just not wowed. It's not bad. It's not good. It does its job. Speaking of a concealer that is an abomination, I do need to try it again, but the first time I tried this, and maybe only, I had to remove it. And that's the first time that's ever happened to me with a concealer. I just could not make it work, so I had to take it off. And that is my KVD Vegan Beauty, I don't even know, are you Good Apple something? Good Apple concealer. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. Aged me about 20 years. I've got this in light 109. No. I've kept it so that I can try it again or pass it on because I've only used it once. But I just hate it so much. No. If I have to take something off to make my foundation, no. No. Next up, no, I've talked about that already. Next up I have the Fenty Beauty Bright Fix in Crepe 04. Love this, definitely very, very light coverage, definitely more for like a bit of colour correcting and things like that. Well, light to medium. Lovely when I'm doing more lateral makeup but still want to look very bright under the eye. Actually, I think I'm going to repurchase this in a slightly darker colour now that I'm slightly away from the wanting for my under eye to look white, essentially, so bright, because I know new techniques, I know more about makeup now, I can brighten with my powders and stuff like that, but really good option, especially if you are just a good under eye concealer girl and nothing else. This is a fantastic, fantastic option. And then next I have my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away in 5 medium. It's the one that has like the little sponge on the end. I don't use this under eye, but it is an absolutely fantastic, fantastic spot concealer for me. Just with my preferences of not liking something too matte under eye. But spot concealing for this is 10 out of 10. It dries down really well, so it doesn't ever lift when I start applying my foundation. Underrated, I would say, as a spot concealer. Absolutely underrated, and the colour 5 medium is a really good match for me. And if I use a really small amount, even though this is full coverage, and I'm not really doing anything else on my face, but I just want to cover some things up, I can really tap it out and make it look quite smooth because the colour match is so good. I might take the sponge off the end, I haven't decided yet. Now onto primers. So to be honest, I rarely prime with anything else than just really nice skincare and my Flawless filter. Okay, in slightly different position because my phone is now charging. So let's talk primers. So, if you've watched me for a while, you'll know I'm not really that bothered about a primer. I might have already said that. Honestly, I can be a little bit of a hypocrite when it comes to skincare and priming, but Flawless filter all the way for me. All I want is something glowy and that's my foundation's gonna glide over. But I do have some like tried and trues that I've really liked over the years and sometimes pull out. So I've got my YSL Touche Éclat Blur Primer. We all know it, we all love it. Well, everyone knows it. I love this. It does what it says on the tin. It's really blurring. It feels super silky. Love it. I also have a Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow, which is glowy and again also blurring if I feel the need. Love it. And this is very, very popular. If you don't want to go quite as far as Flawless filter but want to add a bit of a sheen and a little just bit of something to the skin, very, very popular for this. And I absolutely would agree. On to two things that I've used a couple of times but actually generally really don't like. So the Block the Clock by P. Louise. I'm going to keep it for now just to use in here, but when I wore it and it took everything around here patched off, my mustache area, no. So it's meant to be matte, pore correcting, no. It does nothing for my pores. And then the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. What am I doing wrong? Because this is so popular and I was looking forward to having it. And then my friend Becky said to just use it on my nose. But I just generally don't have an issue with makeup coming off on my nose. I don't like this. What? You all lied to me on TikToks and on YouTubes? I hate it. I don't like it. No. My foundation does not sit nice on it. It comes off no matter what foundation I use. No. Liars. Awful. My trust is gone. And then another one that I really do like is the Instant Illusions by No. 7 Airbrush Away Primer. Definitely like pore filling, smoothing, really like this. If I'm going through a bit of a shitty skin time, I use this or the Touche Eclat, and they're pretty nice for that. And then my probably one, apart from my Flawless Filter, one of my favourite of all times, and I really want the illuminating one of this as well, and that's the Be Perfect Cosmetics Perfection Face Primer. I probably need to get rid of this because it's old, and actually the last time I tried to use it, I couldn't really get any out. Don't really like the sweet smell, but this is somehow managed to be like blurring and mattifying whilst feeling juicy at the same time. Very unique in texture. Really like it. Probably the first primer that made me think, okay then, fair enough. So I do have a video where I try this out for the first time, and I can say it's stayed tried and true in my collection. If I have in my mind that I want my foundation to look absolutely perfect, you know, it's one of those things, I will do my lovely skincare, this, and then Flawless Filter on top is probably my most used like combo. And I think that's it for the base product. Should I just say that this is like part one, and I might like continuously go through my collection? That might be a shout. Do I have the energy to do that now? No. I'm thinking, do I do my bronzers and stuff? Could do my bronzers quickly. Anyway, was this helpful? Do let me know. Are any of these your favourites? Do you think that my like preferences have changed over the couple of years? I really think my preferences have definitely changed. But my most used out of my foundations are my, as I said, Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation, my Be Perfect Chroma, my Flawless Filter. It's probably the most used out of them all, and my most used concealer is my Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin, my HNB, and my Lancome when I have it. Do you enjoy these kind of collection videos? I'm too much of a disaster with my own collection to like show you really a setup yet, but eventually when I get to it, I have just been pulling from where they are, so they are somewhat organised. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. Do go follow me over on Instagram. I do tend to post a little bit more over there when I just have been playing around, and I will post like close-ups of this look. I do think I will do this again. Like the base looks lovely, the skin and the eye is nice. Tried out kind of new lashes that are newer to my collection also. What do we think of the long hair? Do I keep growing it out, or do I go back to the bob? I don't know. Anyway, enough of me. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.